What's going on, Pokemon Go trainers? Welcome to episode 81 of Lured Up, the podcast where we take Pokemon Go way more seriously than we do ourselves. Hey, Lured Up is part of the Pokemon Professor Network.
What's that?
More on that to come a little later in the show.
Oh,
we'll talk about that. Today's Sunday, June 2nd, 2019. I'm one of your hosts, Ken Pescator, joined by my two wonderful, illustrious co-hosts, Adam Tuttle.
I am wonderful.
That's Adam Tuttle.
And me.
And that's Melissa Pescator.
Hello.
Hello, friends.
Hey.
Hi.
Wow, don't be too excited to be here.
We're here. Yay.
Welcome.
Pokemon.
Melissa hates Pokemon so much.
I don't. No.
Yes?
Not right now.
Not right now?
Right now. I
Right now,
love
this
it.
is an okay time.
Right now is the best
This
time.
is a fantastic
This is
time.
the best time
Okay.
in Pokemon.
This is the greatest time.
It is.
We gotta catch her on the...
This is the greatest show. Pokemon and shining lights.
All right, guys, we're off the rails.
Butterfrees are on the net. No, okay.
All right,
sorry.
ready? Reel it
let's keep
back
going.
in and...
Go.
Reel it back in with Magikarp Jump.
Okay, little housekeeping really quick. This podcast is powered by Patreon. Please check ours out over at patreon.com/Pokemon Professor.
Ooh.
Different. Where you can support this show for as little as $1 a month. And that $1 will get you access to our patron-exclusive Discord, which is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people.
It sure is.
And I want to give a huge shout-out to our show supporter tier patrons, Brittany J, Matt M. Pitts, Terry, David, Chris, Sydney, Bacon L, The Noise, Harry, Poke Navbot, Purple Pancakes, Them Gears Be Bangin', and Lady Goobly Meat. Thank you guys so very much.
Peoples.
Also,
You guys rock.
thanks to Lewis for
Lobsters.
joining in at the Discord tier this week. We really
hello,
appreciate
Lou.
that. Special thanks to our
Woos.
executive producer, Paul Bott, and huge thank you to Jessica Pfeiffer for supporting us at the Elite 4 tier level.
You guys rock.
Yes, they do. Hey, today's show is going to be brought to you by HoldMyBookmark.com. It's a fantastic new book review and blogging site created by one of our fantastic community members.
No
Please
way.
take a moment to visit this awesome site. Check it out. HoldMyBookmark.com. Connect with them on Instagram, Facebook. Links are going to be in the description. Check them out, y'all. It's good stuff. I love it because...
Get to that reading.
Yo, what's so cool on Instagram, you would never think that photography and books can collide in a very similar way to the way that TCG cards and photography collide. And it's fucking really cool. And I find myself thoroughly enjoying looking at books in nice, pretty settings, just like TCG cards. It's really
You're like,
cool.
I might not open it and read it, but it looks nice.
Dude,
I'm judging it by its cover.
there was a couple years of my life where I was collecting books and not reading them.
Oh, there was more than a couple years.
I don't know why I did that. Probably because I didn't have time to read them. I only had time to buy them, not read them. But
What's going to be on today's show, Ken?
All right.
Can you let the people know?
yes, I can. All right, on today's show, we're going to be talking about Pokemon Professor and the rebrand that goes along with that, and also the drama that I've been dealing with over the past week and a half. Tomorrow, the 3rd, I'm going to be having a chat one-on-one with DX1. I'm very excited about this. Hasn't happened yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. But I'm sure it's going to be great. I have a lot of really good questions for DX1. Snoozing Snorlaxes are everywhere. Melissa, I know, is very excited about that.
Yes.
There's some weird stuff that's probably wasn't intentional with Snorlax that was kind of cleaned up in the APK mine of 0.145.0 that we'll talk about. And also Adventure Week was announced, and then we'll round things out with the Houndoom Raid Guide and Battle Party. All right. Pokemon Professor Network is a rebranding of Gotta Watch 'Em All. Gotta Watch 'Em All, in addition to being our other podcast, our full format Pokemon podcast, Gotta Watch 'Em All was also the parent network that kind of encompassed everything that we were doing here between the two podcasts, all our efforts. So this is a rebrand, really, of that network itself. So nothing is going to actually change with Lured Up. Nothing is going to change with Gotta Watch 'Em All. It's just that the brand itself is going to have a different name, and that's where, the podcast will live. These two podcasts will be the foundational core of that network, and that will never change. So the team is not changing. It's still us. But what this network is going to also provide is some social and professional services for other Pokemon creators out there. And that's really the goal of what I wanted to do with this network for a long time. So from a social perspective, we're going to be connecting creators through a Discord server. We're going to allow brainstorming calls. We're going to do a whole bunch of stuff that are going to allow creators to talk to each other, share best practices, coordinate collaboration, all that kind of good stuff from a social perspective. And then from a professional perspective, I'm going to be able to take some of the skills that I do from my 9-to-5 job, which is working in digital marketing and advertising, and I'm going to bring that to the Pokemon world and bring those services to creators, which will allow them to pool their resources and get into digital marketing and advertising and ultimately brand development, audience acquisition, all that kind of good stuff without necessarily knowing how to do it themselves. And being able to bring those services to the masses is really the goal of the network. And that's really what I want to be able to do for a bunch of creators out there, because digital marketing is very daunting. And if you don't know how it works and how Facebook and social marketing advertising works, it can be a real pain in the ass. So I have a ton of experience with that. So I'm going to be bringing that to people to allow them to, increase the exposure and market share of their brands, while at the same time acquiring a bigger audience and building their whole network. So that's the whole plan of what Pokemon Professor Network is going to be. Check out, PokemonProfessor.com, hit the About page. It kind of breaks down how everything is going to work. Now, let me talk about the drama really quick. I told you I was calling somebody out. This is a guy that I was working with. He's the host of... I've talked about this podcast before because I dig it. And it sucks that I have to call out the podcast because the other two hosts have done nothing wrong. And at this point, they're really only guilty by association of working with this guy. It was him as an individual, not as the host of... But if it wasn't for that podcast, I would have never worked with him, because I was a guest on the UPPL Battle Spot. This was the United Pokemon Podcasters League, the Pokemon Showdown tournament that I did with a whole bunch of other podcasters across the Pokemon space, right? And I was a guest on that show and detailed my plans for creating a network and bringing social marketing and advertising services to shows to help build market share. And a couple days later, reaches out to me, says he has similar aspirations, he wants to work with me, and we probably had 2 or 3 phone calls over Discord, and we had a chat that was going for a little bit, sharing ideas, and he said that he was going to be reaching out to some shows to incite interest, and that I was going to be putting together a plan that I would then present to him to see what I wanted to do, all the goals that I kind of just laid out. And I kind of started feeling weird about things when he wouldn't let me know the brands and the shows that he was reaching out to. He kept delaying that whole process. I don't know. I don't want to share this. It was weird, right? So my gut feeling was, don't work with this guy, right? But I ended up going against my better judgment, shame on me, and sharing a draft of my business plan with him, because I'm typically that asshole that is a control freak and doesn't let anyone in, and I needed help with this project. So I said, let me ask for help. Let me bring this person in. And my concerns were like things that he wasn't worried about. How's the hierarchy of this going to work? Where's it going to live? The questions that he wasn't really asking, and I didn't feel good about it. I shouldn't have done it. But I sent him a copy of my business plan, right? And he immediately, within 10 minutes, sends it back to me, removes my name from the document, replaces it with his name, literally in the header and in the signature of the document, puts his name in, and makes all these changes. And I say to him, bro, what are you doing? I don't know why you're doing this. This is why did you modify my plan? He goes, oh, I want to give a different look to the people that we reach out to. I go, well, one, you haven't even shared with me who you've reached out to yet. And I go, this is a draft. You're not supposed to be claiming ownership over it. This is my draft. We're supposed to be working together. Where's your, where are your ideas? And I pretty much told him I wanted out. And I said, I don't feel good about this. I was trying to listen to myself, and I said, I'm pulling out. Please don't use anything with my document. We argued over semantics for a bit, and then he finally says, okay, I won't use your shit. Have a nice day. Good day, sir, right? So the next day, I get a call from another Pokemon creator in the podcast space who I had talked to about the network privately. And he says to me, he goes, hey, you working with someone named... And I said, I was. Why? He goes, well, he sent me something that looks and sounds a lot like what we have already talked about. And I said, can you please send that over to me? He sends me a copy of it, and it's a modified version of my business plan. Same formatting, same subtext, and the worst part about it, sections of it were direct cut and pastes. I mean, no
Yeah, when
changes.
you sent it to me, I was like, this is literally what you sent me.
But the best is you're such a unique writer that anybody who looks at any of your documents at all will know that that is your shit, because you do everything exactly the same.
Because I'm a fucking robot, right? And that's the way I write everything out. and he didn't even change the formatting. I mean, there was a section in there when I said, like, when am I going to, like, launch the company? And he took it word for word, like the same exact thing. I was disgusted. My stomach turned, right?
Flabbergasted.
Yeah. So I reached out to him, and his response was, no, dude, this is my idea. I came to you. You were a show I wanted for my network. And it was baffling. It was fucking baffling. So we went back and forth. He had some very empty threats come to me saying, I need you to do this, and then I'll stop, and then this. And it's like, bro, you're not in a position of power to ask anything of me right now. The community from the UPPL, that kind of how I met this guy, blacklisted this guy, blacklisted his podcast and said, we support you, Ken. You've talked to us all about this. We don't want to work with this guy. And unfortunately, we're not going to work with them either so long as they have a relationship with this guy. That's how firmly they stood behind me. Thank you for that. Wow. Jolly by Nature, I want to give you a huge shout out. I appreciate you so much. Everyone from the Puckle podcast, I appreciate you guys so much. Thatch, thank you so much for, being an ear for me, speaking out, and not taking this guy's shit. And
all the positive feedback that we've gotten has been fantastic.
It's been amazing
to see.
And it sucks to have to call out because from that show have nothing to do with this. But the only reason I bring it up is because if it wasn't for that podcast, I would have never had a relationship with. So it's been about a week. I've had 3 or 4 creators reach out to me and send me copies of this plan that are my plan. So I've got a bunch of people that are going to, stand behind that. Then says, this is what I sent out. And he modified it again to remove all of my stuff. And it's like, dude, you've just dug a bigger hole. So I've been dealing with that for the past week and a half. It's been stressful as shit. It's forced me to kind of put this Pokemon Professor stuff out there on the internet and soft launch it way earlier than I wanted to. So the fact of the matter is, this is out there now. I would appreciate it if everyone would check it out. I've got a bunch of creators that are already interested in joining in, and this is beyond podcasting. This is not just a podcast thing. This is going to be Pokemon creators of all types, photographers, musicians, cosplayers, artists, anything like that is a creative outlet in the Pokemon space. I want to open my doors to and potentially work with them. So a lot of ugly shit has gone on with this dude. I'm not happy with this guy at all, but I'm just putting it out there. This guy freaking plagiarized me. And I just want to get the truth out there because it feels like shit to have your work manipulated.
Unfortunately, there's shady-ass people
Shady-ass fucking people, man.
Can't.
And I felt it. And I went,
I didn't trust your gut,
I didn't trust it.
Always trust
and see,
your
when
gut.
you sent me that and you said, hey, I'm thinking about bringing somebody else in, I should have said something, and I feel like an idiot because I didn't say, "Hey, no, try it." Like, I wanted to say, "What can I do to help?" Like,
it's a freaking nightmare. It's a mess. And the shitty part is it's not a competition thing. I'm not worried about this guy competing with me or taking market away from me.
No, it's just the fact that he stole your shit and tried to claim it as his own.
Right. Anything. He just stole it.
He stole it.
And it dilutes the market because now he's reached out to people that I would have reached out to professionally. And the thing is, he pulled the route of the cold call, vacuum salesman, knocking on creators' doors and saying, hey, look what I'm doing. Come join me. And it's like, that's not what I would have done. He also thinks that advertisers are going to be knocking down his door to work with him. And that's not how it works. That's not what I have a 1, 2, 3, and 5 year plan for this business. And bringing in advertisers doesn't happen until year 2 when I have a year's worth of proof of concept beneath my belt. So I have this very thought out, and he's fucked with that. And that makes me very upset. I'm handling it professionally. I'm handling it accordingly. And I'm pushing forward. So to everyone, like Adam was saying, on social media that supported us and supported everything that I'm doing, the hashtag Team Ken has been going around. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate that. It means a lot to see all the support that we're getting across social media about this. And I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm not going to let it slow me down. So yeah, all right, enough talk about that. Let's move on to other Pokemon stuff. Wow, that got heavy for a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I had to get that out. I feel better.
Good, I'm glad
Well,
you feel
now
better.
now everyone knows. They don't have to question it.
Yeah, I feel better.
You
though.
want to know the truth?
You can't handle
I
this.
just remember being on my way home and like everybody's talking about it, and I'm like,
What's going on?
and then Ken's like, I can't say anything right now. I'm driving, and I'm like, I just don't know what's going on. I need to know.
Yeah, it's absolute madness. All right, let's talk about Snorlax. Snorlax will make everything better.
I in my world it does.
So, how's it been for you? Has it been great?
Fucking
All right,
tears.
this is
joy.
coming
Yeah,
from-
Melissa, roll with it. Roll with
It's
it.
coming from PokemonGoLive.com. You know,
I think Niantic's like for real fucking listening to us. Seriously.
because of Snorlax.
Mm-hmm. They're listening. They were like, this girl, she
Well-
wants to play. We need to give her a reason to play, and they've done it.
Yes.
They gave me the sleeping laxie. I mean, of course, I have something I can complain about.
Oh,
Okay, Niantic, if you are listening, the ice lure or the glacial lure, can you make Delibird spawn? Even if
all
it's
right.
like
Well,
an ultra rare
if that starts
spawn,
happening
just-
now, then that'd be some shit.
Yes.
Well, you know, it's weird. Delibird has been one of those Pokemon that has turned off. You know what I mean? Like you can't get
He's
it.
a holiday Pokemon, unfortunately.
Yes, but if you're gonna pay 200 effing coins, which I'll never do, unless it's got Delibird in it.
All right, back to Snorlax. This was really
Okay,
cool.
yeah.
It's a micro event coming from PokemonGoLive.com. It ran the 28th through the 3rd. So just as you hear this, it's going to be wrapping up. This is a cross promotion with Pokemon Sleep. Pokemon Sleep is a new app that's coming out to promote rest and sleep. It's freaking
I'm gonna
awesome.
get more rest than you guys.
I bet you
I
will.
can't
I bet you will. No, but
I'm gonna be winning, and Ken's gonna be like, I am
people are
the
going to
worst at
hack
this game.
so bad.
how?
Because you're supposed to lay it that all you gotta do is keep it fucking still.
All right, so there was a Pokemon press conference that detailed all this stuff. They're releasing a new piece of hardware called the Pokemon Go Plus Plus.
Plus,
Plus
All
plus.
right.
plus
Plus.
with an additional plus.
I-
It's
The
like an
plus.
addition.
I
to
thought
the
this was
plus.
satire. I thought this was a joke, and it's not. The first plus is spelled out, Plus. The second plus is the plus symbol. So Pokemon Go Plus Plus. All right.
Plus.
So
Well, technically, it'd be the plus
Plus, plus, plus.
plus symbol.
it's a disc. It's larger than the standard Pokemon Go Plus, but it will work and function just like a Pokemon Go Plus. But it also
Doesn't
has
it work in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee?
well, no, it doesn't work as a controller, but you could put a Pokemon in it, like the Pokemon Go Pokeball
Really? So you can
Plus.
hear like a
It'll
Pokemon?
make sounds, right?
I like
but it
that.
has an accelerometer in it. So when you go to sleep at night, you rest this device on your bed, and through Bluetooth, it's going to communicate with your phone, with the app, and send information about your dreams. No, about how you're sleeping. Like
so many problems.
breathing
I see
patterns.
So many problems with this.
I have no idea how much
So
data they're
many
going to get,
problems.
but
Okay, people move a lot. Okay, you put something on the bed, that thing is gonna get fucking flung off the bed in 2 seconds.
what if
Like,
you have two people on the bed? With
Exactly.
Two devices?
Oh,
or
yeah,
a dog.
right?
If you sleep with a
if
dog, it's
an
going to
animal,
fuck it
it's
up.
gonna change it. Yeah.
So they released very little information during this press conference. If you want to hear details on the press conference, check out our other show, Gotta Watch 'Em All, episode 67. It's coming out later this week because we detail the whole press conference.
I just
But-
thought of something.
What?
really funny.
What?
To use the fucking thing, you gotta lay on your back, right? And then you have to like rest the fucking thing right in the middle of your chest, and it's like a game. You have to stay real
Balance
fucking
it.
still.
But it can feel your
Yeah, but
heartbeat, so it
it
knows
can
that
feel
like you're
your
moving.
breathing going up and
Well,
down,
that-
and it can monitor your heart rate. Like honestly, but
I
you
don't
have
know
to
how it's
fucking
going to work.
Stay still.
Ken needs the wearable. He needs the glasses so he can see the Pokemon, and he needs the
I'll be like
the
Iron Man.
monitor for your heart.
I'll be like Iron
yeah.
Man.
Well, it's as big as Iron Man's thing.
Yeah, it's not small.
It's not small. It's bigger. It's gonna be like
It's bigger
wide
than a
in my
silver
hand.
dollar, and it's got probably like a half an inch to it. 'Cause
No,
if
it looked bigger than that. It looked like a disc,
It was it's
Like-
it's not
like-
small.
like a silver
You
dollar
strap
pancake.
that to your chest, and then Pokemon Go. So the data, they know exactly where you are. They know when you're sleeping. Oh my goodness, they have
They're
all of your
tracking
information.
everything.
Big brother. I don't care. Sign
Yeah,
me up.
they
You
know
could have all that data.
Following you.
So, but during the press conference, John Hankey came out and spoke, and that's when he announced the Snoozing Snorlax thing. So it's a promotion that's kind of coinciding with Pokemon Sleep. Pokemon Sleep's coming out later. It's not out now or anything like that. But Sleeping Snorlax, there's a lot of really cool stuff about it. One, he's sleeping in the overworld. He's sleeping on the map. The animation is absolutely fucking hilarious because he kind of wiggles like he can't get up because he's too fat. I know the feeling. And then when you go into the catch screen, he's sleeping. It's fucking great.
But that's where the kicker is. This is my favorite part of the entire event is that Snorlax stays asleep when you go into the AR mode.
Right.
And it's the only time you can get that picture of a Snorlax, of him sleeping. So this is like a huge game changer because now this is you have to be in the right spot.
Yep.
At the right time. The right Pokemon have to spawn. You can't just pull it out willy-nilly. Giggity.
Yes!
Oh my god. Dude, you guys are like literally exactly.
No, but yeah, that's one of the coolest things because this is a game changer with bringing that allure and that risk back to taking an AR photo during the catch screen. You know, because when you catch it, it goes back to being a normal Snorlax. And if you were to bring that same Snorlax out in Go Snapshot, it's standing up. It's awake. So you have to do it in the catch screen. I think that there's a lot of potential of what they can do with this and continue to do this and have some kind of exclusive animations associated with taking photos in the catch screen. I love it. It's freaking awesome. Now let's talk about this Snorlax. This was not intentional. This was a glitch where if you threw a ball at Snorlax, he would break out. You throw your second ball at Snorlax, he breaks out. Third, it's a guaranteed catch. It's supposed to be a guaranteed catch on the first one. So something was screwy here. You throw a berry at Snorlax, one berry, and even though he would break out two times after that, the single berry would stay there. So it was definitely something weird. And then when you caught it on the third, you know, if you give it a pineapple on your first ball, and then you end up catching it on the third ball, you still get the benefit of the pineapple. Now, if you had 3 Pokeballs in your inventory, and you threw 3 balls, it only counts as 1. It doesn't burn 3 balls. So that's how I knew it was a glitch. Then in 0.145.0, it's fixed. It really is a 1 throw catch, guaranteed catch. Go Plus catches it on the first catch, on the first ball. So that was not intentional, but it's fixed. And it'll be, by the time everyone gets 0.145.0, the event's going to be over. So that is what it is. But Snorlax has an exclusive move, Yawn, which does nothing. So it's an energy
But it's exclusive.
Move, but it's exclusive. So down the road, potentially they add status effects or something like that. There might be some benefit to having this.
Yeah, there's no reason they would give us this move. They're doing it to fuck us, right? No, this is what's happening.
I almost did a spit take.
They're doing it to fuck us, and this is why. They're giving us these random, you know, these Pokemon with these special moves that don't seem like they make sense or they have no use now. And you're going to, you know, get lost and accidentally trade them out or just get rid of them thinking, and then like in 4 or 5 months, they're going to be like, oh, guess what? Here, now these moves are relevant. And you're just going to be like, no, I don't have these guys anymore because I deleted them.
Yeah, I've already changed the move to one of them. I was like, oh, I caught a decent one. Let me just change the move on it.
Yeah, no.
It's like, do you really want to get rid of the exclusive move, Jan? Yes. Yes, I do.
No, there's got to be a purpose. There's got to be a purpose. And what Melissa was just saying, oh my God, too, is Terry Wolf just sent us a message drinking at a bar. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time for a live Terry Wolf call on the air.
Yeah, let's do it real quick. Let's call him. Now he's not going to be able to hear
He's not going to be able to hear Adam. We're trying to figure out a way to allow him to hear Adam.
I know, because I wanted to hang out with Terry too.
I know, but unfortunately he can't hear you, so we have to. This is the only way we could do it as of right now. We have Zencaster.
Terry wants to see Adam.
We have a tool that allows us to kind of bring people in and connect via the web to record with us, but it's not compatible with mobile. It would, you know, if he was sitting in front of a desktop, it'd be one thing.
I think he's on.
Hello, Terry, are you there?
Hello?
I don't know if he's there.
Terry.
He probably has his mic set up improperly. There's only one mic on the cell phone.
Terry, you there?
Hello.
Mr. Terry Wolf.
Oh, hello.
There he is.
We have a wild Terry encounter.
A wild Terry
Is it shiny?
appears. It is shiny. It is shiny and very hydrated. How are you, man?
Now again, Ken.
Oh my!
What?
Yeah, what was that?
I can't hear a thing.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Terry? Are you there?
I'm here, but you're cutting in and out.
Oh no, I think that might just be your ears.
Might be what?
Your ears. I don't know. I think your connection is bad.
How about now?
I hear you fine,
We hear
dude.
you fine.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Terry.
Hello?
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you hear us?
Hello,
Hello.
Terry. Are
Hey.
you there?
Okay, I heard that.
Okay.
Sorry,
Hey, guy.
still can't hear you.
Oh God,
All right,
this is
goodbye.
a fail.
Bye, Terry. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Terry Wolf. Thanks so much.
He's like, man, I ruined that one.
Oh,
No.
Whatever. Just send him a message. Tell him
I
we'll get
just
him
wrote,
next time.
we tried. LOL.
Oh man, it's so funny. It's so funny. You know, and one thing I've been
He
loving.
wrote the same exact thing.
We tried, LOL. It's been great because we love talking about Terry on the show. He's a staple in the podcast community across all the shows. And I love it when he sends me messages of he'll be posting in a random Discord or in a random Facebook group, and people will respond going, "Hey, are you the same Terry Wolf that they talk about on all the podcasts?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." He's like, "Damn, bro, I'm podcast famous." It's like so cool. But ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Terry Wolf. All right, let's get back. You know what? Let's take a quick break. This is where I'm going to be cutting in the DX1 interview. We'll be back just after this. All right, everyone, we're back from our break, and we are very excited to be joined by DX1. We's in the house. DX1, how are you, man?
I am wonderful. I am absolutely wonderful. How about yourself, sir?
I'm doing very well, and Adam is here too. We were talking when we were recording the show yesterday that it was going to be a one-on-one, but Adam is available, so Adam is here.
Yeah,
Adam.
my work was like, nope, you're gonna work tomorrow because stuff happened, and I'm like, cool. I get the night off. I get to be part of the interview. I'm like, sick.
Yes, that's
I
very
am
good.
excited to be here. We're excited to have you on DX1.
Yeah, it's very cool.
I greatly appreciate it. It's nice to be here.
That's awesome. So why don't we start with some general introductions? Why don't you tell us about yourself, your community, give us a rundown of your channel, and we'll get some of the basics out of the way before digging into your content.
All right. Well, long story short, Pokemon Go was literally the greatest game I could ever play. It's literally a dream game for me as a near lifelong Pokemon fan and a passionate outdoorsman. Pokemon Go was the combination of both, and I automatically became hooked on it. And from there, it was just, I wanted to have a platform to give back and to kind of improve the community. And it all started off with my, I had an Instagram account, and I was just posting things on there that really detailed my progression as a trainer. And then I decided to pick up a camera, and then one thing led to another, and here I am.
That's awesome, man. It's cool to hear that you're an outdoorsman. I think that's something that, as far as being a creator that is in the vlogging space, I think that's really cool as a balance because, like you were saying, it's a perfect fit for a creator to be part of a game that kind of requires you to be out and about. And I think that's a nice blend, and that's definitely indicative of your content because, I mean, even with the travel and everything, I think it's very relevant that you enjoy getting out there and being out and about. And again, that focus on community is always important with pretty much every single content creator that we speak with. And I think that is, a crucial part of the game. And it's really good to hear that that's kind of the paradigm that you had when you decided to pick up a camera was the whole thing to give back to the community and at the same time kind of chronicle what you're doing as a trainer. That's fantastic. When did you actually start your YouTube channel?
My channel started right around the release of Legendary Birds was when my first videos started to become uploaded. My channel was in its, I always say my channel was in its infancy around GoFest of 2016, I believe. I want to say 2016. It was either 2016 or 17 was the very first GoFest.
Right, 17.
17. Where we had the Lugia debut and the legendary birds debut at the very end, and we basically took over the city of Chicago. We had trainers flooding the streets. Those are just flashbacks that I will just never forget as a Pokemon trainer. We literally owned Chicago that day, and it made me so proud to be a part of this game, be part of this lifestyle, and just seeing everybody just really stoked about things that we've wanted. Like when we get things that we've been asking for, have been clamoring for so long, and just the way that they did it was just legendary, literally.
Yeah, I think that the culmination of the expectations that we had as trainers, and then the way it was kind of delivered out of nowhere, and we had this amazing trailer that Niantic put. That first legendary trailer was just phenomenal. I know the hype level was absolutely out of control. Yeah, and it was like, that all the issues that GoFest had in 2017, and then they kind of dropped the bomb. Like, all right, guys, raids are a thing, and we're off to the races. And Chicago was just kind of completely overrun with raid eggs and everything, and people were just absolutely losing their mind. And it was an awesome dynamic, and that whole time period was just absolutely amazing for trainers. And Adam and I are in the same boat. Yeah, we're in the same boat as you, man. It was a life-changing thing when this game came out, and we fully embraced not just the game itself, but the culture and community that's behind it. And I think that from a content creation standpoint, that's paramount to making it all work and bringing everything together. So that's great, man. Why don't you tell us about your team? What team are you on? What's your favorite Pokemon? And you said you're a lifelong Pokemon trainer. So what's your history with the game prior to Go?
Red or blue?
Man. Well, I am Team Mystic for absolutely life. I am probably the most loyal Team Mystic member you will ever meet. It's funny, I kind of get a little salty when people that I know are Mystic switch teams.
Sure.
No.
It's okay, but I mean, I don't know. I love Team Mystic so much. I don't know why. I developed this sense of pride in these colors, and it's weird because my friends kind of chose Mystic for me. I'm with them right now. We started off in New Jersey. They were able to play the game a couple days before I was, and they said, "Oh, just do Mystic because we're all Mystic." And I said, "Okay."
Right.
That was what I got there. Now, my favorite Pokemon, and I haven't really got a chance to explain why this is, but my favorite Pokemon is Porygon, and I love the evolution line. And it is my favorite Pokemon because of it really represents the era of which we live in. Almost to a T, because we live in an era of social media, and we have technology, and we have smart speakers. There's technology everywhere, and when you think about it, Porygon is technology in a Pokemon. Porygon.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I feel like nobody ever thinks of it that way, and it's not that hard to think about it that way, because I mean, Porygon is kind of a representation of computer software and computer systems from the 90s, because that's when the inception began. And Porygon is the representation of the digital era that we live in a Pokemon.
Dude, that's like fascinating, because of all the times I've interacted with Porygon in my life, whether it's Pokemon Go or prior, I never really put that kind of connection between what it actually represents. That's so cool, man. That's like, I think that's very cool.
So bad when you listen to the episodes before or after GoFest, where we talk about me leaving Dunkin' Donuts and to go run down the street for a Porygon.
I think that that's really cool, man. Because a lot of times people will associate Pokemon with being cute and cuddly and soft and furry.
None of those things.
But that's what makes them so unique, and
right.
I think that's very cool, man. That's a great perspective, man. That's super unique, and I love hearing the stories of why people kind of have affinities to specific Pokemon, and I think that the background behind why you love Porygon is so cool, man. That's fantastic. It's so unique. And you what was the first Pokemon game that you ever played?
First one, I believe it was Gold and Silver.
Okay, nice.
And I should have gotten Red and Blue. This is something I'll never forget. I think I was like 4 years old, and I was sitting in a shopping cart, and we were in the electronics section, and I remember this specifically, I pointed to Pokemon Blue, and my mom was like, nope, and then she turned the cart around, and I cried pointing at Pokemon Blue. I think that's what started this whole thing.
Well, Adam, I think that's a win in your category, even though he didn't get Blue. Yeah, Adam is very, very, very loyal to Pokemon.
Well, even if you chose Silver, because I believe that's the version that you get
right.
in, I'd be okay with that one.
That's really cool. And Adam and I are both from the East Coast. Adam lives in New Hampshire. I'm from Jersey. You're from the Philly area, right?
Yeah, Philly, South Jersey.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm born and bred in Jersey. I live I grew up right by Newark Airport, so definite city kid. And now I live down by the Jersey Shore, and I spent plenty of time playing at like Red Bank Battlefield, and in Philly as well. So
spots, man.
Yeah. My wife Melissa, she caught her first Mewtwo at a Love Park EX raid. One of the early original EX raids for Mewtwo was at Love Park in Philly. So yeah, we've played in Philly a lot. The Farfetch days. When Farfetch was released, we pretty much caught all of those in Philly. So definitely have a connection to that area, and tons of East Coast pride coming from this show. So that's awesome to hear too.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Nice. All right. So as far as your content goes, and I kind of want to, we'll talk about the progression of your channel, but one of the things I do like to talk about whenever I bring creators on is to find out exactly what is important to them as a creator, and when they're creating content, what do they try to convey to their audience, to their community? Because since this is such a community-centered game, and it is such a socially centered game, I know that creators will typically have some kind of vibe or some kind of feelings that they like to get across in their videos. What would you say is important to you when you're creating content that makes you feel good about the result of your product, when you can get a certain feeling or sentiment across? What do you like to capture in your videos?
Oh, brilliant. Great question. So what I like about my content, the way I present it is, and this was something that I discovered as I progressed, because I tell you, in the very beginning, I was horrible. I'm still I'm still not where I want to be at all, but I was like dreadful at the beginning. But I like a video that flows, and I like a video that you're watching it you can watch at the very end, and you kind of don't notice what's like that you're watching it. Like your mind kind of distance itself from the timing of the video, or like, oh, how long is this video? We're at this part, we're at that part. But your mind flows with the presentation, and it all seamlessly runs together in this just beautiful timeline package. And
that's great. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of what I imagine is the best video I can make, is something that gets the job done in terms of giving away information or helping somebody with maybe a hint or a trick here or there. And I think what makes my videos unique, now I think it's different for everybody, but at least for me, is Philadelphia is like, I know you've probably been there before, but Philadelphia is one of the like busiest, buzzy, most noisiest places ever. And trying to like film a Pokemon Go video in the midst of all of that just craziness and insanity around you. And I kind of developed this skill where I get this tunnel vision where I just narrow my mind down to, I'm looking at the camera, and I'm not looking at any person just walking near me or any cars walking past me. It's just myself.
Yeah, you are really good at that.
It's myself, the camera, and the Pokemon, and that's it. For some reason, I'm able to just shut everything out in that crazy ass city, man.
Well, I know that's got to be a challenge, especially when it comes to like, the dude walking down the street with like the gorilla pod, holding a camera out at arm's length. It's not the most common thing to see, and it's definitely not the most comfortable thing to even witness when you're kind of, you could be just sitting there at the park and then someone walks by you talking to themselves or talking at a camera.
And you're like, oh man, am I going to be on TV?
It's definitely, but that, when you're able to create that kind of transparency and that kind of, immersion of the camera is invisible, like that Super Mario 64 thing where you're just being followed by a camera and you kind of forget that you're actually in a production mode. I think that's awesome. That makes that feeling of being immersed in the video possible. And I think that kind of balances with what you were saying with the flow of the video, how you want to create an atmosphere that you can kind of get lost in and immersed in. I think that's wonderful, man. That's a great
to go on your point about, the video flowing and making you feel like you're there. My son and I were watching the latest video you were with King, and he showed the camera the shiny Cresselia, and my son was like, yeah, and he goes, we got to go catch one. I'm like, what? I was like, you've never been like, I mean, he's 5 years old and he's like, I let him raid with me. Like he grabs my phone and just, plays, but he wanted to go catch a shiny one. So I was like, okay.
No,
we actually turned it off because we were in the moment, and I looked in the chat and I was like, okay, there's one down the street. Let's go. So it was really nice. And thank you for that. You inspired my son.
That's very cool, man. And yeah, I think that it's definitely important to, as a creator, I know we've talked to a ton of YouTube creators, and it's awesome hearing the different perspectives and the different philosophies behind their styles. And I think that what you've shared with us so far is probably the most unique perspective that I've ever heard, and we've talked to a ton of YouTubers. So that's really cool, man. That's very inspiring. And I think that it's definitely evident when you watch your videos, because you are kind of, you get that tunnel vision. I think that's another great way to explain it, because you're just in your element, and that's definitely evident in your videos. So I definitely can appreciate that. But, let's travel back in time a little bit. And, you were building your audience, after GoFest 2018. So last year's GoFest, and there was kind of this shift in your release schedule, and then all of a sudden you kind of vanished. So why don't you talk about your kind of decision to take a break away from YouTube, and then ultimately what made you decide to come back? And I remember watching the video kind of explaining that, but I'd like you to reiterate that story. But what really hit home for me was the fact that you explained that you had kind of this inspirational message from your father. So I'd like to get to that, but why don't you tell us what kind of, what happened with your mindset, and what happened with your philosophies that led you to take a break from YouTube and then ultimately make your return?
Well, to be honest, it all sprouts from certain things that are in my mind that drive me towards like certain outcomes. So it really all sprouts from my obsession I have to be better, or to be the best I can possibly be, or just to be the best in general. I've ever since I was young, I kind of developed this drive and this obsession to always be better and to always improve. And I reached a certain point where I didn't feel as if I was getting any better. I didn't feel like I was improving. And I felt creatively trapped, in a sense that I wasn't creating content for myself rather than creating content for an algorithm. And that's a few of those things kind of contributed to my frustration, because it all sprouted out of frustration. Creative frustration was the number one thing that led me to kind of like collapse and just walk away from everything pretty much. And I reached a certain point where I didn't want to return. Like I didn't want to do making content anymore. I didn't really want to engage in content creation. I was still mildly playing Pokemon Go, but I was just totally done with YouTube as a whole. And part of it didn't sit right with me, but I knew that there was absolutely no way I was going to come back until I unless I knew I had an outlet to become better and to become the very best. And throughout my childhood when I was younger and pretty much following up into my adulthood where I am now, there's so many things that I had started and I had stopped doing because either I just didn't want to do it anymore, or I just quit it, or once again, I didn't feel like I could get any better. I didn't feel like I was getting any better. And my dad was an individual who noticed this because my brothers were athletes. My brothers are athletes. They stuck to certain sports, and they've achieved moderate to great success. Like my little brother is working. I think he's working to become D1 in football, and I wish him the best of luck. But he only got to that point because he stuck with something.
Right.
And throughout the course of my life, I never truly stuck to anything. I was always here and I was always there. And deep down in my heart, I always wanted to stick to something just to see it through, to see what I could, what could I end up with? I always wanted to see something through to the very end. And my dad sat me down because he knew that I was doing this. At first, he was like, "Dude, what are you doing?" But eventually, he picked up on it and he said, "Hey, I mean, you have something here." And at some point, I felt like I had something. I really did. I felt like if I saw this through to the end, I could see this as a career possibly. I mean,
Right. Sure.
And my dad basically told me exactly what I just told you. He said, "I've seen you pick up and put down thing after thing, and I don't want you to do the same thing to this as you've done with everything else in your life. I would rather have you see this through than anything else. Even though I have my job and I am a very good employee, I'm a stable worker, and I always have that to fall back on. Like I'm always going to be working my job, but and again, it's my job, but it's not my dream. It's not something that is something that could be the greatest accomplishment of my life. Getting to certain milestones and becoming successful in a platform like YouTube is, I don't think it's something that everybody can do. I don't.
Definitely not, man. It's a unique space, not only as from a creative thing, but just from a mental capacity. I mean, it takes a certain type of individual and a certain type of thick skin and tolerance to even work and function in that space. So, anyone who's in that space grinding, I give a shitload of credit to, because
you have to ignore those comments.
Yeah, it's definitely a difficult environment. And when you made the recap video, after you had returned and you kind of laid out this story about your father, I mean, I felt so inspired. I was like that, I have a 10-year-old son. Adam's got a 5-year-old son, and when you were, I felt the emotion coming out of your voice. I felt the emotion in your eyes. I was like, man, this dude is the real freaking deal. I was like, and it was exceptionally inspiring. So first and foremost, as a fan, as a consumer of your content, thank you so much for coming back, man. You really bring a ton of joy to me, to my community. We've always wanted you to come back, and we couldn't be happier that you're back. And it really makes me happy that we're able to get you on the show, because your story is exceptionally inspiring, man. And the fact that, you had the wherewithal to say, I'm not feeling it. And why am I going to pursue content if my head and my heart isn't in it? And then being able to find that from yourself, within yourself, with inspiration from your father, which I thought was amazing, and come back to this process, and now you're back and making content again, man. It's a freaking super inspiring story. So thank you so much for coming back, man. We're definitely glad to have you back in the community. You definitely belong here, and we're all happy that you're back.
Definitely, because
much.
I missed you.
And one more thing. And what my dad told me, what really stuck to me is that he said, you can live a normal life, and you can, I have my degree in business administration, and, I I can do things that are going to be great for me and all that are going to live me towards, a satisfying life. But he's like, dude, like, Julian, like, he's talking to me from, like, man to son. Like, you can have a comfortable lifestyle and you can live the life that, tens of millions of other people are living. Like, do you want to do that, or do you want to potentially become somebody that's great? Like, do you want to potentially go out there and be somebody great, or do something that is truly, legitimately great? And
man, that's awesome.
that was like, whoa.
Yeah,
That
right.
is
Just you want to be somebody like to make a difference, and you've
That's
done that
incredible.
already.
Yeah, that's so inspiring, man. That's so great. And then when you did decide to make your comeback, it wasn't like you put out a video of you at Red Bank Battlefield or in Philly. You show up in Singapore. How the hell did that happen?
Oh yeah, man. If I said, you know what, if I'm gonna actually do this, I gotta do it big. So like, what inspired that was like, what did inspire that? I think one of the biggest things that inspired that was, kind of like from an entertainment standpoint, or like you're watching like a TV show or like a soap opera, and like somebody you haven't seen for months, you thought was like killed off, or like maybe like died at a cliffhanger or something, and then like a season finale, he comes back, he's like, he's alive. I kind of wanted that dramatic effect.
Yeah,
Well,
it definitely was that dramatic.
I think you pulled it off, man, because
Yeah.
I remember like Twitter was freaking blowing up that day, and it was
Yeah,
just
you
like,
messaged me. You're like, DX1's back.
and he's in Singapore with like the whole crew. This is madness. It was so awesome to see, and it definitely was that kind of dynamic that you went from completely off the radar to front and center.
Yeah, because you're like, oh
back
my god,
in the
he's in
mix.
this video and that video.
Yeah, it was really cool, and I think that if you wanted to make a splash and make an impact, man, I think that you absolutely pulled it off. It was freaking awesome. How crazy was Singapore though? It must have been madness over there.
Oh man, dude, it was like, as we know, three of us are from the Northeast. That humidity over there just smacks you in the face. But oh man, I just can't get over such an amazing place that Singapore is. Like, I had my expectations, but they were just blown out of the water. It's like the United States, in Asia ×2.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it looks so amazing and really cool seeing the different type of urban environments juxtaposed with like these beautiful lush green scenery, that isn't so far away from the city. Like, it was such a cool thing to see, and kind of reminiscent of my lifestyle. I mean, I live at the Jersey Shore. I work by Newark Airport, in this crazy industrial park, next to refineries with, you would think that it's a cloudy day, but it's really just these giant clouds of pollution, from the Exxon and Mobil factory. You know what I mean? Like, it's, and in Singapore, you would see all these people crammed into the small area and all these motorcycles and all these things flying around. But then, you would have a cut to this, beautiful lush landscape or a beautiful garden or temple or something absolutely out of place that seemed out of place, but is naturally just inherent in that environment. And yeah, that was a really cool thing to see. And I think that's important when it comes to the vlogging style of Pokemon Go cinematography, is being able to see that cool architecture and those cool travel videos, because that adds such a unique dynamic to take I don't want to say a mundane game, but a game that we all live and play on a daily basis. But when you put it behind that kind of backdrop, I mean, it just amplifies the significance of what's going on, of where and how you're playing. And speaking of like how you play, like what are your favorite ways to play the game? Like what's your favorite part of the game? Are you into raiding, or like are you into PvP? Like what's your favorite thing to do in this game?
Well, I am heavily getting into PvP by the second.
Hell yeah, awesome.
Which is, it's hitting me in the Stardust category.
That is the best thing I've heard all day. Oh my goodness.
It's hitting me in the Stardust bank right now, but pre-PvP, my favorite way to play, and still is my favorite way to play, is, man, I plug my music in, I just shut the world out, and I just walk. I power walk everywhere. I'm talking miles, just nonstop, just until my legs are just like, look, if I step on one more thing, my feet are gonna break off, and you're gonna have
Yeah.
to order a lift. And
That's funny
I
that you
just go
say that, man.
hard.
I did the same thing the other night. I left my house to go on a walk at like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm in the Discord. Well, my community has a Discord, so I'm kind of going back and forth, shooting the shit with our community. And then, like, before I know it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a mile and a half away from home. I'm 2 miles away from home. I'm 2.5 miles away from home. Like, oh man, am I going to have to call a Lyft to get home? I'm like, and I ended up walking for like 3.5 hours, and I walked like almost 6 miles at like midnight. It was absolutely insane, but that was part of it. I completely got lost in the game, and I had this Forrest Gump moment where it was like, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm just going to keep going. And it was like, yeah, I feel you, bro. That's really, really cool, because I enjoy that too. That's a really cool element of the game that, this game, that's what makes this game unique. You're not going to really experience that with anything else out there. And that's what makes, the dynamic of this game socially, and as an outdoorsman, and as that whole thing, like, you're not going to get that anywhere else. So that's really cool, man. That's awesome to hear. And PvP is definitely very important to me and Adam. We're all getting into it.
Yeah, and I'm going to be honest,
tournaments.
I'm kind of sad that our Friday night fights didn't fill up this Friday, and I wasted it. No, I didn't waste, because they're good counters, but I plan my team out and everything, and I have it ready to go. And
we're good, man. We're good. There's no rush on it. We do a Friday night remote tournament. We have a remote schedule in our Discord where everyone friends up to Ultra, and we open up a tournament on Friday nights, and try to get it wrapped up by the following week. We'll get there this week, man. Whenever I do like an open tournament, it sometimes takes a little bit longer because people don't have Stardust to spend to build out parties. It's like, it's one thing if you do a Silpharina meta, because people have focused their Pokemon and can recycle Pokemon from meta to meta and recycle that Stardust, get more bang for the buck. But when you do an open tournament, it's like, oh my God, I don't know. I like Unbreakable Liz, one of our awesome community members that helps out a ton in the Discord and with the PvP stuff. She posted a screenshot. She had literally 18 Stardust. 1-8.
Whoa.
I was like, it's just like, how does that even happen? I gotta, I'm sitting on like 6 million Stardust, and it's like, dude, I don't even know what I would do if I had 18 Stardust. Like, it brings the game to a halt. Like, it's such a standstill. But that's cool to hear that you're into PvP. And are you going to Go Fest this year?
Absolutely. I'm going to be flying in like the Thursday. So the first day of the event, I'll be flying in. My plan is to go to all three. I have tickets for Dortmund and Chicago. The GoFest Asia, nothing has really been said, but if I get in there, that's where I'm going.
Nice, awesome. That's great, and yeah, that's good, man. I look forward to hitting up Chicago this year and connecting with a lot of the creative side of Pokemon Go, because this community of creators is just so fantastic, and being able to collaborate with so many of you guys makes it that much more exciting for me as a fan.
It's been so nice to get to know everybody. Like, honestly, like, you get more like closer, but like, even though we're farther away, like, I don't know, it's the community. We're bringing all the creators together, and I love it. Absolutely love it.
That kind of plays into the culture of Pokemon at large. And I know it's super cheesy and campy, and I always go back to this ultra cheese thing, but what Pokemon, the pillars of Pokemon are based around friendship and bonding and love and caring. And I think that the content creators do a really freaking good job of supporting each other and looking out for each other, and that translates into community development and taking care of their communities, and the overall positive vibe that this creative community kind of portrays for the Pokemon community at large is freaking awesome. You know what I mean? So it's very exciting when we all get together, man. It's a fun time, and I'm looking forward to hanging out in Chicago, because it's gonna be good times for sure.
And to your point, I've always heard that the YouTube community, especially the YouTube gaming community, is very like cutthroat, and people have a lot of enemies and things of that nature. But in our Pokemon Go community, at least, things couldn't be any more towards the opposite.
Yeah, Yep.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
super welcoming.
and just like it caught me by surprise. It just caught me totally by surprise because like I remember running into, I think it was like the winter of 2018. I think it was like January 2018. We had this humongous Poke Festival in Los Angeles, and you know I went from like filming videos at Red Bank and stuff like that to I'm sitting having lunch with Mystic Seven and Trainer Chips. I'm like, is this my life right now? Like,
Dude, I know exactly how you feel, man. That's all. But that, you know, there's going to be toxic, you know, bullshit everywhere. You know what I mean? But I think what this community does so well is just not feed the trolls. And, you know, it's that usually that's a very difficult thing to do. But I think that the community has definitely come together to kind of, you know, have so much positivity that it just kind of blocks out all the bullshit, all the negativity, and doesn't let that you know, shade anybody's shine. You know what I mean? Like we're all standing up for each other, and I think that's super important. And yeah, that it definitely is a unique experience, especially when I talk to people from other communities. Like I've got friends that are, you know, in the first person shooter communities and in the Fortnite community, in the Call of Duty community, even like the people that play MOBA in League of Legends and stuff like that. They say like those communities are exceptionally difficult to get along with other creators. And, you know, in Pokemon Go, sure, everyone's going to have a sense of friendly competition, but that's what makes us strive to be better. And it's done in a way that's so incredibly, you know, caring and supportive that it doesn't seem like competition because everyone's just trying to lift each other up. And I think that's really cool. So if you could be Thanos for a second, right? And you could snap your fingers and add anything to the game, like let's put a tinfoil hat on here. What do you think this game is missing? What would you add to the game if you could change anything about it? What do you think this game is lacking? I know that's a tough one. That's a brutal one.
Yeah, it's, you know, there's so many things. Like if you would ask me this question a year ago, I'd be like, oh man, Pokemon Go needs this and needs that. You got to re-roll that. Right now it's just like firing on all cylinders, man. Like,
yeah, yep.
But the one thing I might say, the one thing I can say is I think Pokemon Go needs a better, maybe not a better, but a way that gives us an opportunity to potentially get a shiny Pokemon. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, dude, you're not putting it. Some people will just say, oh, you're just not putting in the work, or maybe you're just not good enough. And maybe I'm not good enough. You know? Who knows?
Good is a relative term when it comes to shiny hunting.
Yeah, because we have some people in our Discord that get them almost multiple in a day, every day. So I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Like what Niantic could do is, I remember there were the Sylph goggles, I believe, and that was in the Kanto region, and that could help you see the ghosts.
Yep.
And then you could go inside of the temple in Lavender Town, the cemetery in Lavender Town. So maybe you could get the shiny goggles, and maybe once a year, maybe once a month, you can buy it for like 1,000 Pokecoins, and on your nearby, a Pokemon that is shiny, you'll only be able to see it once. If it's gone, it's gone. And one Pokemon that could potentially be shiny, it'll be highlighted in orange or highlighted in a different color, and then it'll show you that Pokestop. Like, look, that Zigzagoon over there, that's a shiny Zigzagoon.
Drop whatever you're doing and get there now.
Yes, activate the shiny goggles, and then you can see that shiny. Maybe once a year. You know, Niantic can throw me a bone on some of this because they're dropping shinies left and right, and I can't keep up, and I'm getting stressed.
Well, you know, it's funny that you say that because one of the cool things that I like, a unique like kind of genre of content creation is people that do these photoshops of different, variants of shinies, their own types of shinies. But I saw, and I don't know the creator's name, and I apologize, but someone created a shiny goggle icon, and it's been floating around Instagram and Twitter over the past week. And, they made it look like a consumable that you could buy in the shop. And it caught a lot of steam. People were like, oh shit, like if I could get this would be awesome. So
Yeah, I'd be broke.
yeah. Think about, of course you're going to have the pay to win mentality, but what if you could earn that through some type of special research or some type of reward? That would give that level of incentive
in the
would be
downtime where
awesome.
you're not chasing Jirachi or anything like that.
Something.
Or if you've completed all your quests, like you can opt to like take on a new quest.
Yeah, shinies have become their own type of beast in this game, and I love that about it. So yeah, that's cool, man. I'm with you. I think that if they were to do that, it would give people a little bit more incentive and not make them so discouraged or not get them demoralized if they go out there on a daily basis. And some people may say, oh yeah, you're just not, I checked 650 Pokemon today. How many did you check? Well, I only checked 100. Well, you're not working hard enough. It's like, it's all relative, it's all relative to your time and your, the ability of you to get out there. So, 100 might be a shit ton for somebody and might be, a drop in the bucket for another. So yeah, I like that idea, man. I think that's definitely cool. That would really be cool. But as we wrap up here, man, what's the future of your brand? What's the future of your channel? Where do you hope that this goes? I mean, obviously the travel is in your future, and I think that's fantastic. And I think that that's very exciting and intriguing as a consumer of content. But where would you like this YouTube to take you, over the next year?
Very good question. And I want to become iconic. I want to become a type of icon within not just Pokemon Go, but within the grounds of Pokemon in general, by creating myself, by reinventing myself as not only a content creator or a Pokemon player, but as a character. I want to add a side of character to my brand and to my videos. And I want to add more personality, and I want to make things more interesting for basically my brand. I want to spice up my brand and make things interesting, and I want to make things different. One quote that always floats around in my head is, in a world of Toyotas and Hondas, I want to be a Tesla.
Right. Get it. Yep, I got it. Yep. No, I think that's great, man, because, I just did a roundtable of YouTube creators just this past weekend. I had a bunch of YouTubers on, and we kind of had this great discussion of entertainment versus education versus information and how to blend all those together and the importance of the entertainment factor. Because when it comes down to it, you could say, oh, I'm a creator and I focus on raids. I'm a creator and I shiny hunt. I'm a creator and I vlog. I'm a creator and I take photos. But really what it comes down to is we're entertainers. So that personality, that, organic feel of passion and originality is paramount in this space. So that's awesome to hear, man, because I can't wait to see where you go with it, because that's super intriguing. And I think with a blend of, you obviously have the drive, you obviously have the passion, and, thinking of where you can go when you have that mindset, man, I'm super freaking excited. I'm so glad we get to talk to you today. I want to thank you so very much for coming on the show, man. Where can our community find you? Where do you want us to send people?
I'm mostly on Twitter, and my Instagram is gonna go through a huge revamp. I'm completely redoing my Instagram very soon, but as of right now, you can hit me up at DX1 Treats if you have any questions or concerns, or just straight up want to check out my content. And on YouTube, all you gotta do is type in DX1 or DX1 Pokemon Go. It's a funny story. I typed in my name, DX1. I just typed in DX1 on like a random YouTube search, and it's like DX1 Pokemon Go, DX1 Pokemon. So I guess the algorithm already knows what I'm associated with, so that's pretty cool. But
nice.
Just type in just DX1 and you'll be able to find my channel on there, and I hope to see you guys along for the ride, because there are a ton of things that I have planned, and that's what I have most of my excitement stored into is all the ideas and all the things I want to do moving forward. Because I didn't come back with just an empty slate and I'm just gonna figure out all my ideas as I go along. I came back with just so much.
I'm excited for you. I cannot
Yeah,
wait to see all this content.
I'm gassed up right now, man. I'm like,
I know.
ready to go.
Like, what
I'm
else can we
ready to go.
create? Ken, what can we do? I've already posted 3 times on Instagram today. What can we do?
That's awesome. Well, DX1, thank you so much for coming on. I'll definitely have links to everything, everywhere that our community can find you. I'll put all that stuff in the description. Please check out DX1. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow. And if you see him at GoFest, make sure you say hello. Because it's awesome to find good people in the space, man. And we're really glad that you came on. So thank you so much. And as for the rest of the show, everyone, we'll be back right after these words.
I'm back. I play Pokemon Go every day. I play Pokemon Go.
And we're back from our interview with DX1. DX1, thank you, man.
Back again.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet, but I'm going to think that it's great.
Oh
Thanks,
man,
dude.
that was fantastic.
It was
Thank
such
you,
a good
DX1.
interview. I
We
learned so
appreciate
much.
you.
I learned so much
We
about
appreciate
him.
you coming on. Loves hugs and kisses.
It's awesome. No, I can't wait to talk to DX1, man. I got some good questions for him lined up. But Adam, why don't you talk about Adventure Week, man? This is the
Adventure
third
Week.
annual Adventure Week, and this is a good one.
Okay, all right. So this starts Tuesday, the 4th, through Tuesday, the 11th of June. The Snorlax thing ends the 3rd, so, they couldn't let us go 24 hours without another fucking event. So here we are, another event. So we got Rock-type Pokemon being more prevalent. So we've got Geodude, Rhyhorn, Ammonite, Aron, Lileep, Anorth, and many others will appear in raids.
Melissa still needs Lileep and Anorith for her quests.
And I still need Ammonite or Kabuto.
Yeah, you're good. You're covered.
Yeah,
you're
thank
gonna
God.
finally go.
And then we get to hatch more Rock-type Pokemon, such as Onix, Lavatar, Lileep, Anorth, Shieldon,
That's
from
cool.
2-kilometer eggs, which is a kicker, because, that's big. That is real big, because you're going to be out walking, because you're going to hit all these new stops.
Well, Shieldon is a holdout. For a lot of people, that's a very rare Pokemon.
Yeah,
so.
I've only seen one of them, 2 of them. And Larvitar
You're
from
not
2K.
trying hard enough. You get to, see? Challenge Onix, the Rock Snake Pokemon, and other Rock-type Pokemon in raids. Onix, he's shiny.
Lileep
is shiny.
Anorith.
What?
Anorith,
Really?
Lileep.
3
Nice.
new shiny Pokemon in
That's
this event.
dope.
It's freaking awesome.
But I still don't have a
awesome.
Geodude.
I don't
still
have Geodude either.
an Ammonite. So this
There's a
event,
shiny
I'm gonna have to go
Geodude
hard.
is out? You're shitting me.
Shiny Geodude came out last year at Adventure
What?
Week. Right?
Ken, do you have one?
No.
Are you kidding
What?
me?
That's your favorite.
I know.
That
We
is
don't
like you
ever
trade
see
somebody
them.
for that.
Never.
We're
We
in grass
never
and
see
water
them.
biome here at the Jersey Shore. We are far from rock biome, so I've caught so few Rhyhorn. Yeah, they're just not around. So yeah, Geodude is rare as hell for me.
Yeah.
Like totally rare. The last times I really caught any Geodude of volume was during Adventure Week last year.
Oh my god! So you need to go harder than a Geodude. That's all I'm saying.
I will go fucking maximum hardness on this
Okay,
event.
so during this event, we've got reasons to get out and go. We're gonna earn 4 times Buddy Candy.
That's huge. That's
So
fucking
make sure
Oh,
your
wow, yeah.
fucking adventure sync is ready to go, because all your steps count, all of them. When you visit a new Pokestop, you're gonna earn 10 times experience points.
Yep.
On the first spin, obviously. Trainers who have adventure sync activated and walk 50 kilometers will earn 50,000 Stardust and 15 rare candies. That is huge. So if you PvP, which is probably a lot of you that are listening, it's a big deal. But realistically, I've been maxing things out to they're just under 15.
Sure.
Just to have, like, I'm
Great
not
League.
investing a ton of dust. I'm just investing enough to make them be okay for the Great League.
But if because these rewards, the Adventure Sync rewards kick in Monday mornings, 9 a.m. So if you're running a star piece Monday morning, 9 a.m., are you going to get 75,000 Stardust instead of the 50,000? Like if a star piece works, that's fucking big. That's awesome.
That's massive.
That's really
huge.
cool. So
Grande.
And I love this because I'm not going to hit it this week, but last week was the
Giggity.
first week I ever giggity. That was the last week I hit 50K. So I'm definitely motivated. I'm definitely excited. I went on a long-ass walk this week, 5-mile walk in the middle of the night as I was bored. Caught a shiny seal. Very excited about that.
Yeah, I'm very jealous.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many I've clicked.
Very, very excited about that. And I'm still not going to hit 50. I'll probably end with like 44 or 45 tomorrow or something like that.
Yeah, I'm
So
sitting
close,
at 30
but-
right now.
and we're also going to have research themed
Yeah, it's
for
brand
adventure.
new field research. Brand new.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's crazy. So we're probably going to get, something to hunt, like the catch 7 somethings.
Rock
and then
types.
get an anorith.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was saying though, Melissa still needs this stuff. There's still holdout research quests, from some of the older special research. So,
And I think this is nice that I can finish this right before Go Fest too. Clear it out.
There's a very good reason that they're doing that. Mm-hmm. Because there's new special research coming to Pokemon Go.
Of course.
That has been found in the APK mine of 0.145.0.
Oh,
Ken,
here,
tell
I'm
us
sorry.
more.
Nerd,
Tell
nerd,
us
nerd,
more.
nerd.
I need to know what's in this APK mine.
All right, coming from PokemonGoHub.net, these guys always get the APK stuff up exceptionally early. Slight spoilers, putting the spoiler warning up right now. Okay, you've
Okay.
got 2 seconds. 1 second. All right. Jirachi is coming to the game. Jirachi has been found in the code for special research. This is clearly going to be the special research at GoFest. We had Celebi last year. Jirachi will be here this year. But there's some really cool stuff found in the code that has really cool potential implications that could make new mechanics come to the game. So, per the lore, the Poke lore of Jirachi, it says, Jirachi will awaken from its sleep of 1,000 years if you sing to it in a voice of purity. It is said to make true any wish that people desire. Terry, please make a good wish. So, there's lines in the code, everyone sing and wake up Jirachi. If there's some element where you have to use the microphone and sing or something, this could be like the whole Poke Flute that I was, tinfoil hatting on this wake up Snorlax thing with the doo-doo-doo-doo, to wake him up, where you had to like sing or play into the phone. Like, there's a line of code that says everyone sing, and then there's a whole bunch of other associated bits of code for waking up and singing and things that are anchored, like all this kind of stuff. So, some potentially new mechanics coming around this Jirachi special research. I'm very excited about it, and we'll have to see. But GoFest is 2 weeks away. It's going to be here before we know it. So, we'll be reporting on it sooner than later, because before you know it, GoFest will be here. I'm very excited about that. Jirachi's an awesome Pokemon. Jirachi's
cool
a cool
looking,
Pokemon.
too.
Very cute.
Jirachi is the Wishmaker.
It is the Wishmaker. All right, also in the APK mine, dynamic badges. Now, dynamic badges refer to event badges. So, like if you were at GoFest last year and you got your exclusive badge, that's what this means. But
Yeah, there's another exclusive.
bits of code associated with it. So, what does that mean? I'm thinking it might mean that little thing that they teased of saying you can only have one special trade per day unless you're at an event. So, if you have one of these badges unlocked, it will allow you to have more special trades. I don't know if that's going to be the connection. We'll have to see.
That would be killer.
That'd be cool. It's also officially supported in the Samsung store in the APK. Again, this is a different from the Google Play Store. You have 2 options now to download your apps through the Samsung store or through the Google Play Store. And this is another big one. 2 new moves added to the game. Charm and Giga Impact. Why are these moves important? I'll tell you.
Fairy.
Charm is a fairy fast move. The first time that a fairy
Routes.
was going to have
Routes. Get hype, guys. Routes.
this is going to be the Ralts Community Day move. That's my guess. But Pokemon
All right,
that
let me
can
start
learn
making
this can
perlers
be
now. Routes.
Togetic, Granbull,
Everybody.
Pachirisu, who's going to be at GoFest, breaking the region lock, and Manaphy also can learn this move. So again, tinfoil hat, maybe Manaphy is going to be our next EX raid boss, and it will know Charm, maybe. But I do think this will come to Ralts as a Community Day move. Giga Impact, Tauros, Aerodactyl, Snorlax, Tyranitar, and a bunch of others can learn it, but also it's the main move for Regigigas. So, again, these moves have come out, but it kind of tips the hat a little bit of saying what Pokemon could be coming to the game real soon. So maybe
they drop Regigigas at GoFest.
like in addition to Jirachi?
In addition,
Well, hey, if they
in
do
a
raids at
subtraction,
GoFest,
in
maybe
a
if they
Go
do
Plus
raids.
Plus.
Pokemon Go plus.
Yeah, the triple plus.
Quadruple plus. Oh, and then again, that Adventure Sync
Pokemon
fix
Go plus
is in there, too.
division.
But yeah, a lot of shit in the APK. A lot of the stuff, again, is just in there. We don't know when it's coming. We don't, and Charm in the main series doesn't have any damage output. It just lowers the opponent's attack. So we'll see what Charm does in Pokemon Go, if they're going to have some kind of stat-altering thing associated with it, or it's just going to be a regular damaging move. Now, as a fast move, you'd think that maybe it'll either have an exceptionally low chance to proc, like a 1% or a 0.5%. It's not like a charge move that has a 10% chance, because you're only going to get 2 or 3 charge moves off in a battle. If it's a fast move, you're going to be firing it off all the time. So who knows if it'll have some kind of other thing associated with it. But it's still cool for people that are fairy fans. And now you can have a fairy that can have, stab with fast and charge. That's pretty awesome. Right, Adam?
Right.
All right, last thing we're going to get into here is our Houndoom raid guide and battle party. Guys, what are we doing?
A battle party. Ooh, ooh, battle party. Ooh, ooh.
All right, so we've decided that at our meetup, Friday, June 14th, at Monk's Pub in Chicago, we are going to be recording a group battle party whoop whoop that we're going to start, and we're going to have as the official bumper on every single show. We're going to use that. So you guys better be ready to get your battle party whoop whoop on if you're coming out Friday night, Monk's Pub. It's going to be a fucking blast. I cannot wait. There is a sign-up page on GoCastPodcast.com. Also, Chris from GoCast created a really awesome shirt for the event, for the Mareep Up. Has Pokemon Go Radio, Pokemon Go Podcast, us, and GoCast on it. That's a really cool design of a Mareep sitting at a bar, drinking a beer. It's fantastic.
Now, I know we've been in discussion in the Discord about, is it weird to wear the band shirt to the concert?
I'm wearing it the day after.
What if I wore it at the
event? Well, I told
You're that guy,
Unbreakable.
but you are that guy.
I told Unbreakable, I go, but when you guys wear it, you're going to look like camp counselors. And then some people were like, camp counselors, I'm in. And now I'm going to wear it more.
There's going to be, some of you guys are that guy, and that's okay.
No, but there's up on teespring.com through GoCast page, there's a whole bunch of variations of the shirt. You can get it in a shit ton of colors. Tank tops, hoodies, long sleeve shirts. You can get a baseball shirt, ringer tees, tons of different styles. So it's up there. Definitely pick it up. If you want to get it before GoFest, there is an option for expedited shipping. So if you wanted to rock it at GoFest, get on the site now. I'll put a link in the description. But it's a really, really cool design. I really like it. Good job, Chris.
All right, so let's talk about this battle party.
All right. This is coming from GamePress.gg. Houndoom is a dark fire type, weak to water, fighting, ground, and rock. It's boosted in fog and sunny weather. Your counters are typically going to benefit from cloudy, partly cloudy, or rainy. So if you're looking to duo this, which it is doable, keep a lookout for those 3 weathers: cloudy, partly cloudy, rainy, because that's where your counters are really going to benefit. The fast moves that this thing can have are Snarl and Fire Fang. The charge moves are Crunch, Fire Blast, and Foul Play. So you really got to look out for specific moves dependent on what counters you're bringing. The best overall counter is Kyogre. Now, Kyogre is the best all around because it's tanky. It's going to deal with that Fire Blast really well. And it's weak to water, or Houndoom's weak to water, so that Waterfall Hydro Pump is going to put out a shit ton of DPS. Now, most people don't have 6 good Kyogres. Candy is very hard to come by with legendaries. So having powered up Kyogres, unless you've dumped a shit ton of rare candy, is going to be tough. So Machamp is there to kind of fill that gap of a very accessible Pokemon to use. Most people have Machamp. You can solo it in the tier 3. Lots of candy. Machops are everywhere. The only thing is, you're going to get wrecked by Fire Blast and wrecked by Foul Play. Fire Blast will fuck you up. You'll probably get one-shotted. So I don't dodge, but if you want to make your Machamps last, you're going to have to dodge Fire Blast. But not me.
I dodged though.
I'll just let it wipe me out, and I'll re-lobby or whatever if I have to. But Machamps are really the best all around if you have that accessibility level. Hariyama's another good option. It's a little bit more tankier than Machamp, so it'll probably last a little bit longer through those Fire Blasts. And then Tyranitar with Smackdown Stone Edge Community Day moves is another great option. You could also use Groudon, Blaziken with Focus Blast, Breloom, Lucario, Heracross, Infernape, Gyarados. There is lots of options here. But if we're duoing this thing, I know, guys, you're going to hate me. I'm just bringing 6 Kyogre.
Oh,
I have 100% Kyogre. I have a 96% Kyogre. I've powered a bunch of them up.
That Kyogre.
I'm just bringing 6
100%.
of them. I know it's not too exciting. Now, if I have 3 or more trainers, I'll give it a little diversity. I'll bring 2 Kyogres, 2 Machamp, 2 Tyranitar. So a strong party any way you look at it. Good diversity of moves there, and it doesn't necessarily rely on needing that boosted weather for the counters if you've got 3 or more. But Adam, what are you bringing?
Okay, so I've got my.
Oh my
100%,
God! Look at your list, dude.
My 100%, my Vaporeon, my Amistar, my Feraligatr. I have a Gyarados, and then I got 2 Gyarados from field research that were 117, which is supposed to be 100%. But when I run them through the Pokegenie or whatever, they come to 99%.
Have you powered
which
them
doesn't
up?
make sense. I've been powering them up, but they still say 99%.
Do they really? Okay, because there's no Pokemon that's 99%. So those
Yeah,
are 100%.
exactly.
They've got to be
Okay.
100% because it's either 100 or 98.
Okay, so I need to power them all the way up. I was just thinking about that while looking at it.
That's a lot of candy.
But basically, I have triple
That's a lot of
Gyarados, triple Gyarados, Vaporeon, Amistar, and Feraligatr.
Now, are
That's
you?
a lot.
And you're gonna run. You're gonna run. I guess water moves on those Gyarados, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. No, I have dual moves on the 100%. So
So you have 300% Gyarados? What?
I
the
have no
fuck?
idea if I do. I would assume that they are. Now you got me curious, and I want to just power them all up.
Well, usually, because I've seen that before, where if you run it through Pokegenie, it won't show 100%, even though everything lines up that way. But usually, when you power up the Pokemon and then rerun it through Pokegenie, it'll then reflect as 100%. So I don't know.
Well,
Have you?
power this one up as much as I can go? and
Maybe
then I'll
when
see.
you're powered all the way up, you'll tell. But I mean,
All the way up.
What's the worst that could happen? It's 98%. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's still a
I mean,
Gyarados.
Yeah.
Fuck up your 100% party.
Jesus.
All right, Melissa, what do you got?
I'm bringing a Gyarados. I don't know what the fuck percentage is. It's good though.
It's good because it
does
has high
good.
CP.
It does good.
Said no one ever.
And I've got 2 Machamps that aren't shitty, and a Groudon, and 2 Kyogre.
2 Krogers.
Kroger.
So Gyarados, 2 Machamp, Groudon, 2 Kyogre. So you've got water, you've got fighting, you've got ground.
Yeah.
That's a good blend.
I know.
That's a good blend.
I like to mix it up.
All the way up. Oh man, I miss Meta Podcast Go so much.
Oh
It makes
man,
me think of that.
M-Pits.
Every time I hear that,
Can
I
you
think
come
of them
back?
because they would play that shit all the time on their show. M-Pits, bring that shit back. Bring that shit back.
Bring it back.
All right, couple bits of miscellaneous news before we wrap up today's episode. Niantic has posted a job opening for a head of product for Pokemon Go. What does
Oh
this
my
mean?
God.
What does this mean? It means I need to get a new job.
Yes.
No, but this is big because now they're really starting to segment their company. Now that Harry Potter's coming out, they really need to start dividing the teams up. And I think that if Pokemon Go has its own thing, I don't know. It's just going to be good at any way you look at it. It's very exciting to watch this stuff happen too, and I'm excited for whoever gets that position. That's a very exciting position. Adam, I know you're going to be bummed on this one. Niantic to end Apple Watch support on July 1st.
Oh, womp womp.
Wait, for real?
Yeah. This is because what they're saying is because of Adventure Sync, you don't need a second device to help you manage your walking or help you manage your distance because you could do that on the phone now. And why need 2 devices? So Apple Watch support goes away July 1st. I'm glad I didn't get one because I wanted one.
An Apple Watch?
An Apple Watch.
Now, I'll say that when I use the Pokemon app, the battery on my watch just drains drastically.
Really?
I get like a good 8 hours out of it, but then it's dead.
Because it's connected through Bluetooth the whole time, right? It's Bluetooth
Yep.
connection.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's obviously it's going to put more of a strain. But
Update
Pokemon
on the
Go
100%
Hub.
Gyarados. I powered them up and I ran them through again. They're 98%.
Oh.
After going to 500 Stardust, so
Oh, well, worst case scenario, they're 98%.
and it was the worst case scenario.
That's fine. Gyarados are cool.
Gyarados are good.
Oh, I recorded a stream last night, Creator Roundtable for YouTubers, round 2 of the YouTubers. It was a fucking blast. JT Valor, Infamous Big Rob, Kato Nolan, Omnisec, Hybrid Mongoose, and Tom Cruise. It was a lot of fun. It's on our YouTube channel right now. I still haven't gotten the last the Go Snapshot AR Roundtable out on podcast form because we put out so much content last month that I hit my cap through our hosting. So I had to wait till this month to put it out. So I'm going to be putting out the AR Roundtable this week. I'm going to be putting out the YouTube Round 2 Roundtable next week. But you can catch both of those up on YouTube right now. Go check it out on YouTube. It was a ton of fun. It was a real good time. We had some really cool conversations, and I learned a lot about all these creators that I had absolutely no idea about. So a lot of fun, very influential, and I was super motivated when I left that roundtable. So please check that out on our YouTube. We did it, guys.
And another one.
We did it. Yeah, I got a little bit tipsy, so I apologize that I wasn't there.
Yeah, I wanted Adam to come on the roundtable last night. I go, bro, you coming on? He's like,
Too much grown-up jokes.
He's like,
yeah.
He's like, I think I might sit this one out.
I definitely opened up a bottle of wine that I was not ready for, I guess.
That grown-up
Because I was like, Ken texted me, and I'm like, whew. Like, yeah, it'd make for fun, but I'd rather be like ready to go and like professional.
Well, this was the first time I did a roundtable with 6 panelists, so it was mayhem. So if there was 7 people in there, it would have just, and you were drunk.
Yeah, and drunken Adam.
It would have just been like,
hey guys, everyone would have been like, what's happening?
Well, if anyone knows Omnisec, this guy has more excitement and energy than pretty much anyone in the Pokemon space right now. So it was like, it was so hard to keep him contained because he's so excitable. It was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But that's it, guys. We did it. We did a show. Please check out all those other creators that were on the roundtable. They're all really cool people and definitely are worthy of your support. All right. Send us an email, info@luredup.com. Become our patron, patreon.com/Pokemon Professor. Oh, fuck, we had voicemails. Fuck, we're going to get to the voicemails next week. I'm sorry to everyone who left us a voicemail this week. We went a little long. I'll definitely get to those voicemails next week. But you can leave us a voicemail, 732-835-8639. That's 732-835-8639. Yeah, I'll get to emails and voicemails next week. I'm bumping that. So sorry, guys. But other than that, please check out PokemonProfessor.com, visit LuredUp.com, all that good stuff. Anything else, you guys?
Nope.
Drink your coffee, trainers.
I can't wait
Go Fest
for
is
the
coming.
next couple days to go by.
Oh my god,
What?
Go Fest, guys.
Go
Fest. We're gonna talk about Slack Off Community Day, which we didn't actually talk about. But we're gonna talk about it on the next podcast, and then it's gonna be fucking Go Fest.
I know. It's going to be here before you know it. I'm very excited. I'm very excited because I found out a bunch of my local crew is going too, so it's going to be great. Get to see Jersey's Jay. It's coming.
I
Oh
can't
man,
wait
I'm
to
so
see
hyped.
him.
I'm so
I can't wait
hyped.
to see all our friends.
All right,
Can't wait
everyone.
to see you guys.
That's pretty much it. Thank you so much. We'll see everybody next week.
Hugs.
Keep training, trainers.